And we have Reverend Janet Wright, Interfaith Minister, who's going to do our invocation.
Yes,
Oh, is that on? Is no, there's no.
Is it on?
Yeah, it's
Yes,
on. You gotta
yes, it
turn
is.
the volume up.
Turn the volume up.
So, Larry, in the back, have you seen that back there? There's a master volume there. You can kind of turn it up. Maybe. All right, go ahead.
thank you for
There it is. It's
remaining standing for the invocation. Please join me in prayer. O Holy One of many names, we call your presence here at this time and place to guide this gathering to work together for all the people who reside in this town. Let us place ourselves in an attitude of respect for one another. Settle us so that we may sincerely listen and hear and understand one another. Oh God, we give thanks for human government that makes our society possible. We ask that you direct our elected officials on path of justice and righteousness as they examine the issues of this evening's meeting. May the citizens assembled here explain their concerns in a civil and polite manner. In your wisdom and grace, you have called us all together in this place this evening. May we be a blessing to each other. As a Christian, I pray in that name. Yet in this room we know you in many ways. So I ask this blessing by whatever way or name we call you, in great confidence that you hear and love us all. Amen.
Reverend Wright, where are you from? That was wonderful. You haven't come to do our invocation before.
I've been here before.
I apologize. All right. Do we have Detective Freeborn here? We don't have Detective Freeborn here. No, I don't see him. Chief?
Chief, is he here?
You don't think so? He had pneumonia, and then he had a tick bite, and then he was in the hospital again on Saturday night.
Okay, well that could. Well, we've got. We're not going to. Without further ado, why don't we bring up the Ironman drill team? And is your chief here? Okay, well, come on up. So the town board is going. Come on up, sir. Is going to recognize the Ironman drill team for 80 years.
The ladder right there.
How you doing?
Thank you.
Shake everybody's hand. Make my way down the table.
You guys
Thank
don't
you.
look like you're 80.
Thank you.
I don't understand this, huh? Huh?
Thank you.
I used to race against
All right, so everybody spread around so we can celebrating the 80th anniversary of the Ironman drill team. Whereas it is both fitting and proper that the town of Riverhead join in celebrating the 80th anniversary of Riverhead Fire Department's Ironman drill team. Whereas the Ironman drill team was formed in January 23rd, 1935 by Captain Joseph E. Smokey Joe Walsh, who brought the best of the department's 6 rivalry racing teams together to form one team. Whereas with hard work and practice, the Ironman drill team won their first tournament in August 1935. Impressive. Beating the Flying Dutchman of West Sayville, to become the 1935 New York State Firemen's Association tournament champions. And whereas since their first championship, the Ironman drill team has won numerous Suffolk County, New York State, and North Fork championships. And whereas the Ironman drill team has faced numerous challenges over the years, including changes from motorized competitions to old-fashioned competitions, from using leg power to pull carts to using horsepower to pull trucks. And let it be known, I like the horsepower to pull the trucks better. Let it be known, Ford, of course. let it be known, what do you guys race? It's a Chevy, isn't it? George, you'll present this proclamation. Let it be known that today, even with the challenges of having to develop team chemistry among new team members, the competitions continue for the Ironman drill team to do theirs to be successful. Now, therefore, I, Sean Walter, Supervisor of the Town of Riverhead, along with the entire Town Council, do hereby recognize the lively competitive spirit and determination of the Ironman drill team and wish to thank them for their past success and many more years of success. And I urge all the residents to join in sustaining public awareness of this team sport to encourage them to attend future tournaments and to support the Ironman drill team. And the Chevy guys got to award that presentation.
Here you go. Congratulations. Go Chevrolet, go Ironman.
What engine's in it? The 454?
Yeah, I got a 454 for the V truck and a 383 small block for the Chevy.
Oh, that's a Dodge one. We don't have any Dodge guys here.
So, yeah.
I just want to say one thing. When I was younger, I raced against these guys. I belonged to these guys were guzzlers. And
Guzzlers?
the guzzlers. And back in the early 60s, 62, 63, 64, and 65, I was on their racing team. And they used to come to East Islip race because we had a track. And we raced for the county and state against these guys. So they're still around.
The Guzzler's still around?
Okay? They came in 5th at a tournament that you guys held.
Yeah.
Out of what, 30 teams?
22 teams.
22 teams. They came in 5th.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations,
Thank you very
guys.
much.
We thank you. I don't know.
Do
The
what you
lens
want.
doesn't curve like that. Okay. All right.
I was a junior Ironman. Does that count?
But I didn't have it on for a second. Not like that's ever happened. I'm gonna keep snapping. There's somebody in the back. I can't see you at all. Are you hiding or are you? Maybe if you get like sort of over that way.
No,
There you go.
Can you get him from that angle? Okay. Just on the top of her head. If I fall, you catch me. Okay, thank you.
all right, thank you, guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Can I have Gail Baldwin come on up? Gail, I know we've done this before.
Yes, and I'm so excited to be here again. Thank you so much.
So August is World Lung Cancer Day. Whereas our lungs make up one of the largest organs in our body and are essential for respiration, and whereas lung cancer is the leading cause of death from cancer worldwide, with the highest incidence of being in North America and Europe. And during 2015, an estimated 221,000 new cases of lung cancers are expected to be diagnosed, representing 13% of all cancer diagnoses. Lung cancer causes more deaths than colorectal, breast, prostate cancers combined. An estimated 158,000 Americans are expected to die from lung cancer, accounting for 27% of all cancer deaths. Lung cancer is one of the most common cancers among New Yorkers and is a leading cause of death in New York this year. While smoking is the most common cause of lung cancer, other factors have long been known to cause this cancer, such as genetics, exposure to certain carcinogens, secondhand smoke, radon, asbestos, air pollution. The 5-year survival rate for lung cancer is only 17% and is among the lowest of all types of cancer. Early diagnosis and treatment of lung cancer greatly improves survival rates. However, most cases are not diagnosed until later stages. Understanding its causes and effects and other factors about lung cancer is an important step to preventing complication and reducing the risk of mortality. And let it be known that funding for lung cancer research falls far short than other cancers with less fatal consequences. Now I, Sean Walter, the town supervisor, along with the town board, do proclaim August 1st, 15, sorry, it says 14, we'll fix that. As World Lung Cancer Day in the town of Riverhead, and urge all citizens to acknowledge and honor the survivors, caregivers, to all those that are affected with the disease. And what you should know is the person that wrote this, Carol Scofani, her husband is a lung cancer survivor for quite a number of years, and so this probably was a difficult thing for her to write. So on behalf of the town board, we want to give you that proclamation.
Thank you so much.
You absolutely can. The floor is yours.
A lot of things happened between last year and this year. We were able to, this is exciting for me especially, we were able to get a proclamation from the Suffolk County Treasurer last year. But the most exciting thing was that she was able to ask Legislator Kennedy, who is now going to be the Suffolk County Controller, if he would introduce a resolution to light the Dennison building every year on August 1st in white lights. We've asked now for 4 years in a row for the Empire State Building to be lit on that day because they light it for so many other events.
Right.
And again, this year we were turned down.
Wow.
But I'm happy to say that the resolution passed. Our county executive, Steve Ballone, signed it, and starting this year and every year thereafter, August 1st, the north side of the Dennison building will be lit in white lights.
Very
To
good.
That's wonderful.
So people are beginning to become aware that, you know, there's a need for help for people that are suffering from this disease. So all of your support means so much to those people that are still battling it and surviving. So I can't thank you enough.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very
for all
much.
that you
Thank
do.
you.
Thank you.
No detective?
No.
Oh, okay.
Hey, no, you can pass it.
All right, John.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion that we approve the minutes of the town board meeting on July 7th, 2015. So moved.
And seconded?
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Giglio. Yes. Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
The minutes are approved. Under correspondence on the agenda, John and Lori Lettieri sent letters of opposition to the medical marijuana facility, proposed medical marijuana facility in Calverton, Bating Hollow. Angela DeVito sent a letter expressing opinions as to the proposed local law amending Chapter 18. That was the public hearing of July 7th. Anita Pellegrino sent a letter regarding the condition of properties at Old Vine Estates community. Connie Carlin sent a letter with attachments regarding aircraft noise complaints. Under reports, the tax receiver utility collection report for June, $410,674.58. The sewer district submitted their discharge monitoring report for June. And under fire districts, the Manaville Fire District submitted their 2014 financial statements. And that's it.
Okay. Then, is there any other reports?
I'd like to say that Chris and Ronnie Witt, who ran the Long Island Adventure Race back in May, donated $4,000 to the town's recreation, and we're looking to put that money towards the skate park repairs.
Oh, great.
Thank
Thank
We
you.
want to thank them again. They've contributed quite a few times.
A round of applause for them.
Also, if you haven't had a chance to take advantage of the Townscapes Friday Night Concert Series, it's been a success the last 2 weeks. We started 2 weeks ago. This week, on the 24th, there's going to be a Long Island Sound Symphony, so it's going to be quite a sound. It's over 150-piece orchestra. They're performing starting at 7:30. It's a free concert, so bring your chair and come on out and sit down in Grangeville Park, which is beautiful, and just enjoy a nice evening in the town.
Great job. Thank you, Jim. All right. We have no other committee reports, so we'll get started on the public hearings. We have one public hearing scheduled for tonight. It is now 7:14. The public hearing was scheduled for 7:05. I hereby open the public hearing to consider all interested persons with regard to the proposed extension number 86 to the Riverhead Water District. Mr. Collins.
Good evening. Good evening, John Collins with H2M. I'm here representing the Water District. Superintendent Conklin couldn't make it tonight. He had a previous engagement. I'm here just to give you a brief synopsis of the project. The project involves approximately 400 feet of water main along Middle Country Road to service the ongoing solar farm. The report, if approved, will bring the solar farm property into the district, into the taxable district. Along with the solar farm, they're also bringing in a few properties along the north side of the road, which would be known as the deli, or the former Calverton Deli, the Captain School, and the post office. The cost is estimated at $71,800, and that'll come at no cost to the town or the water district, completely paid for by the developer of the solar farm property.
All right.
Excuse me, the charter school, you'll be bringing that into the district too?
That's already in the district.
That's
That was
already
brought
in the district?
That was brought in under extension 77.
Oh, how did they skip the solar farm then? Let's go
The other way.
direction.
Comes from the other direction.
From the other
Yeah, it comes
direction.
from the other direction.
Yes, it's located just to the east of the charter school.
All right. Does
Okay.
anybody else wish to be heard tonight? Mr. Collins, thank you very much we'll close the public. Do you wish to be heard on Water District? Okay. We'll close the public comment portion and leave it open for written comments until Friday, July 31st, 4:30 in the town clerk's office. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Now we have comments on resolutions. Does anybody wish to be heard on resolutions?
Sal Mastropolo, Calverton. 542. The name of the company that you're doing business with is United Fence and Guardrail Corp.
Right.
There's about 3 or 4 places where you need to add the word guard. 547.
Oh, okay, hold on. You got that, Bob?
Yep.
Okay, 547.
547. The first resolved. How did you get from $405,000 to $231,610 when the last whereas says the performance security in the amount of $120,000 is the reduction? Where'd the other 53 come from?
I'd have to show you the bond estimate. What happened was the 405 was actually an artificial number. The actual amount that was due was closer to $369,000. What happens was we have an artificial number that in the absence of this agreement, we wouldn't have gone below. So the starting figure was actually with just the amount that the engineer had estimated for improvements in 2012 was less than 405. That also includes a 15% markup. So I took the 120 out as the cost item associated with the Warner Drive work. That brought it down to $201,000 or $202,000. Then with a 15% bump up to that, it came to $231,000. I can show you the figures by looking at the bond estimate.
Okay, but here's the question. Shouldn't something be in the resolution that explains that, so that if somebody picks up the resolution 6 months from now when you're not around, it doesn't make sense the way it stands without your explanation. So there should be either, a comment that the 405 is not a real number but an adjusted number to such and such, so that the cross-footing works. Just a comment.
I was tempted not to include the 405 at all and just mark it down to the 231, which was what was referenced in the agreement that was entered into pursuant to the December
Do
agreement.
you want to write something while we're going through resolutions?
Just attach your calculations to the resolution.
I'd have to actually go get the bond estimate. I can attach Mr. Gordiello's 2012 estimate, but even then you have to closely analyze it to see how he came up with the numbers.
Okay, well, the way it
If you want to
stands...
make that reference,
I'm sure we're not.
okay,
All right, we'll make that reference and attach it.
okay.
Okay. Mr. Vito.
Good evening, and thank you for keeping the air conditioning on. It's very pleasant.
We're lucky it works today.
Okay, I'd like to start with Resolution 537, and it's not a specific comment on the procurement policy itself, but I'd like to make a suggestion for consideration of the town board on the process by which we put out and pass policies, because prior to this meeting this evening, and if you go out to the front desk and read the policy that you're undertaking, and the public really doesn't have access to what the policy is. So I'd like to suggest a process whereby you do a first reading. You have 3 readings of your policy, and people can comment on it before you actually pass it. Okay?
Well, then we had a public hearing, we had 2 public hearings on this one.
Okay, well, but not on every policy, okay?
Yeah,
I'm not just
no,
saying
you're
for this
right.
policy, but just in general, because you're not really required to have public hearings on your policies. So this is a way in which, in policy making, opening up the process
Right. Oh,
to
you're right.
greater
It's a good idea.
consideration by the public.
It's a good idea.
The other thing is that Resolution 545. I really hope that you get this, because the renovations to the facilities that EEAC is on are very, very necessary. But I'd like to ask, they lease those properties from the town. Is that my understanding? Those
Correct.
are town properties
Correct.
there? There is nothing in that lease agreement that requires them to do repair and maintenance
No, we do it
on
all.
the properties?
We do it all.
I might suggest that in the future, when you renegotiate that contract, that be included there, because you may or may not get this grant, and those properties will continue to deteriorate.
That's a good
It's
point.
just a way in which to strengthen, or even assume half of it, or just something to negotiate some responsibility on the part of those tenants. Resolution 555, I know that we did have a public hearing. I wasn't able to attend, but I did submit some comments. I'd like to know if there have been any changes made to the original postings that you did for Chapter 18, the changes in, I believe it was Section K 3 and 4, on the Code of Ethics, or
Like
how
540?
you utilized public input on this in devising this, because I think that we've had the Code of Ethics has been around for 10 years, 12 years. It's been.
Probably,
We passed
yes.
it around that. It might be time for us to really sit down, and rather than just amending a particular section of it, to relook at the entire Code of Ethics, because there is a need for us to really wrap ourselves around the need to limit, to the degree that we can, nepotism, which isn't really addressed, and also to give the Ethics Committee a bit more bite. I mean, there's nothing that they can really enforce. I mean, they can come to you with their decision and ask you to act on it, but as an independent, they should be a bit more independent. So I think it's perhaps set this amendment, the changes aside at this point, and work on a revision of the ethics code overall, and then come back to the public with this. I think would serve us better as a community at this particular point in time. The last one is Resolution 561. Again, I hope you get the application, but I also would like to urge you in this feasibility study to include community advisory boards as part of it in the discussions of what we're going to be doing with wastewater infrastructure in the community. And I'm not just speaking on behalf of the Jamesport, South Jamesport. There is Lockett Drive community, there is Dunlookin Lane Association, there's a number of communities there. And I think right from the beginning, people having an idea of what they're looking at in terms of infrastructure changes, costs in that, just to have the public participating.
Well, I agree.
I'd like to see that, if that's, and I don't know if that's part of your application, you've already made it, but it's just something to keep in the future there.
What happened, this actually was pretty interesting. The Deputy Commissioner of the DEC, Mr. Mark Gerst, called me and he was speaking and said, we should apply for this. And we had a very pleasant conversation. So this is the first step. Riverhead's always been ahead of the curve when it comes to sewage treatment, water district issues, than all the towns on the east end, with the exception of Greenport. And I think this is a good opportunity for us to show our leadership again.
And I just really would urge that there be community participation, because there is concern from our community for water quality. People were very encouraged by the press conference that was held down at Riverside Yacht Club, is it?
We're looking for money from them too, so.
To essentially, approach this on a countywide level, but to begin talking about sewering where we are. Because, for example, we have a huge mega mansion going right up on the beach, and I cannot see where that is going to have anything positive to do with the water quality at this particular point. So just for, and there are many interested individuals, so at some point, rather than when the process is almost done, right from the beginning, to have some role that people can have.
It has to be, because this is going to be a very long process, and if the community isn't involved from the beginning with input, it'll never go anywhere. So this has to really be a grassroots up sort of. I would love for the South Jamesport Civic Association to be the grassroots part, and we're just kind of saying, yes, we want to do what you want to do. We need that.
We will be prepared to sit down with whomever is in the administration here to work with them on that. We're very, very committed to that. There's been a lot of talk at our civic meetings about what we can do. A lot of the things that people thought about are really cost prohibitive to do individually, but overall as a community and tying it into the town, we'd be very much interested in it.
I'm committed to making this happen at some point.
All right, and I hope your applications go forward.
Thank you. Does anybody else wish to be heard on resolutions? All right, not seeing anybody. You want to take the resolutions up?
Okay, Resolution 537.
Local law to adopt amendment to the procurement policy pursuit to the general municipal laws. So moved.
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, I skipped Wooten.
What?
I skipped
I said yes already.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 538.
Not so fast. Ratifies authorization for supervisor to execute an agreement with PSEG for test boring. So moved.
And seconded?
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 539.
Awards bid for diesel fuel. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 540.
Awards bid for heating fuel. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 541.
Authorize the town clerk to publish and post public notice to consider a local law to amend chapter 108 entitled zoning of the Riverhead Town Code, 108-51, non-conforming buildings and uses. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 542.
542 ratifies the execution of a construction staging agreement with United Fence and Guardrail Corp. So moved as amended.
And seconded?
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 543.
Ratifies the promotion of the police officer to the position of detective grade 3. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Giglio.
This is contractual, so I'll vote yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
It's also needed after the recent retirement, so yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 544.
Accepts the retirement of a police detective in the Riverhead Town Police Department. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Giglio.
He was actually one of the detectives that caught the people that burglarized my house, so I know he was a fantastic detective, and we wish him well. Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 545.
Authorizes acceptance of New York State and Municipal Facilities Program grant awarding the amount of $250,000 for the East End Arts Council capital renovations to facility. So move.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please. You all right?
I'm slowly getting there.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 546.
Authorizes acceptance of $50,000 New York State SAM Grant Award for the streetlight replacement on Pulaski Street. So moved.
And seconded?
I love how this came about. Moved
Yeah,
and seconded.
I know.
Vote, please.
Giglio.
I want to thank Senator Laval. He's the one that made this happen, so thank you, Senator Laval, and yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes, we have to come up with the other part of the money. So I vote yes. Well, at least we're getting part of it paid for.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 547.
Approves refund and reduction of performance security for Baiting Hollow Club 2. So moved.
And we're going to add the,
Yeah, I was going to add a second whereas between the first and second, whereas the reduction was premised upon a revised performance bond security estimate dated August 15th, 2012, which estimated the total cost of improvements to be $321,400.
does that make the math work?
It does, because once you take the 120 off and then bump up the 15% bond inflation number, it comes
Oh, my.
to 231.
Okay.
Okay,
And
so
we're also going to attach Vinnie's letter, right? The town
If you
engineer's
want to
letter?
also attach his bond estimate, we can also
Okay.
make that.
Attach that letter as
Okay.
well.
And as per attached estimate.
Sounds good.
Okay.
so moved as amended.
And seconded as amended.
Moved and seconded as amended.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gableson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution.
Work with you on that one.
Yeah, okay. Next one. 548.
Secret resolution regarding New York State SAM Grant Award for streetlight replacement on Pulaski Street. So moved.
And second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gableson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 549.
Authorize the supervisor to execute a stipulation of settlement agreement, Civil Service Employees Association Incorporated, Local 1000, AFSCME, AFL-CIO, Riverhead Unit of Suffolk Local 8252. So moved.
852.
852.
Oh, 852, excuse me.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gableson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 550.
This authorizes the supervisor to execute a stipulation of Local 1000 AFS-CME AFL-CIO, Riverhead Unit of the Suffolk Local 852. So moved.
Unseconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gableson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 551.
Authorize supervisor to execute a stipulation with Local 1000 AFS-CME AFL-CIO Riverhead Unit of the Suffolk Local number 852. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gableson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 552.
Approves the Chapter 90 application of the Long Island Moose Classic Car Club. Car show for Long Island Moose Charity, Sunday, September 13th. So moved.
And second.
Diane, just, it says the first whereas on June blank.
It's July 13th. He delivered it to my office.
Okay, so it's July 15th.
And I'll correct that.
July, what was it?
July 13th.
Okay.
So as amended. So I move it as amended. To
And
include the
second
date.
as amended.
Moved and seconded as amended, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gableson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 553.
Adopts a local law to amend Chapter 18 of the River Town Code and Town Code of Ethics. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
I question the timing of this resolution. I find it suspect, seeing as this resolution came up again 2 years after it was put on the table, and 7 weeks after a Republican convention where some were not given the nomination. I think that the Ethics Board, when this was sent to them 2 years ago, they sent it back to the town board and asked the town board to decide what a policymaker is, and the policymakers should be prohibited from serving as executive board members of a political party. I think that this is, I agree that I think our whole ethics code needs a revamping. I know that there are people that do business with business owners and property owners in the town of Riverhead, and I think that's wrong. I think that we should be overhauling the whole ethics code to include that if you're serving, that you can't work on properties that are situated within the town of Riverhead. But for now, for this, it's, I think it's done for the wrong reasons. I think it's done at a time when we should be looking at this more closely and getting it right, rather than rushing to it, and I think it's a personal vendetta, so I'm gonna vote no.
Gableson.
I've supported this probably from 2013 when it first came up, and I've been speaking to different board members since then, steadfast that we've got to do this, we've got to do this. So to me, it should have been done then. It's done when it's done. I'm a little disappointed in it because I don't think it goes far enough. We're talking about executive boards, executive positions on the committee. I don't think any of these elected officials plus the planning, the different departments should be on any committee. I think that's the way it should go. So eventually I'll vote for, it's almost getting there, but I almost like to see this thing amended to go all the way. And it can't be a bad thing, it's only got to be a good thing. So, I vote yes.
Woodman.
Yeah, the timing may seem suspect, but, is there ever a wrong time to do the right thing? I mean, sub and substance, there's never a wrong time to do the right thing, right? So, this is the right thing to do, and I think it's a start, and I think it really is about serving the people of this town of Riverhead, and not who you're elected for, or by, or endorsed by, or anything else, so, yes.
Dunleavy.
I have to say that I think the code of ethics should be looked at and should be changed. We're looking over all of Suffolk County and most of the towns in Suffolk County. They don't have a stringent ethics code like this does. I think the only town that does is town of Southhold. I just think that this is politically motivated. I think this is payback. Well, you did something to me, and I'm going to do something to you. And for that reason, I'm voting no for it.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 554.
This authorizes town clerk to publish and post the attached notice to bidders for highway department for exterior office improvements. So moved.
And seconded?
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 555.
Authorize acceptance of cash security for Stony Woods at Rivet LLC, Section 4. It's for 2 foundations. So moved.
And seconded.
Is this the one we didn't accept this month? 12/7 last time?
I didn't.
Remember we had that discussion?
Yeah,
Is this for these 2 foundations?
it is, and we already took the money and the foundations are already in supposedly, so.
Back in May
Well, I
5th.
thought we didn't want to take it, my last discussion. I don't know.
Back in May, right? It's back in May 5th. It was they posted security back in May 5th.
All right, did you move it, George?
Yes.
I
Joe?
seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Late,
I'm
but
gonna vote yes because he's given us 12/7 and, Councilwoman Giglio says these foundations are in. But whoever moves into this, they have to straighten the water problems out that they have. And I don't want any more foundations put in until the water, or anything built there, until the water situation is.
I agree.
I will vote yes for this because they're in, but I don't want any continuing, building built until they have their water problem solved.
Walter.
yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 556.
Authorizes reproduction and expenditure of monies for Greetings from Riverhead Volume 1 History Part 1 and Greetings from Riverhead Volume 1 History Part 2, written by the town historian. So moved.
And second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
This lady puts her heart and soul into the history of Riverhead, and if you've never been to her office, it's quite amazing going back and looking through the years, hundreds of years of newspaper articles and things of that nature. So I think everybody should visit the town historian, and I support Georgette 100%. I'll vote yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
I spent a lot of time down there too. He's there on Wednesdays, so make sure you give a call and she'll let you in, so, yes.
Dunleavy.
I'm gonna vote yes, and there's only gonna be 25 books, printed of history, 1, part 1, and 25 of the other one, and it only costs $12, so I think for the history of Riverhead, it's a very good investment for someone to make. So I vote yes. She's a very diligent young lady. She's a senior citizen.
Walter.
Yeah, on that note, Georgette does a great job, and get your copies quick, yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 557.
Terminates the employment of a maintenance mechanic 1 in Rivertown Senior Program. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 558.
I'm sorry, ratifies the attendance of 2 police department employees to the annual New York statewide tracks users meeting. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Excuse me, Dunleavy.
Yes, if anybody doesn't know, TRAX is the computer they have in their car, so they don't have to write summonses. They put it into the TRAX and it's already printed out for them. It makes their job a lot faster, and so they can get back on the road. So I vote yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 559.
Authorize town clerk to publish and post a public notice to consider local law to amend Chapter 108 entitled Zoning of the Rivertown Code, and that's in addition to Article 25, and it's on stand review. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes for the public hearing.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes, public.
Dunleavy.
Yes, in public hearing.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 560.
Authorize the town clerk to publish and post a public notice to consider a local law to amend Chapter 108 entitled Zoning of the Town of Riverhead, Article 6, Agricultural Protection Zoning Use District, APZ. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 561.
Authorizes funding application to New York State Support Wastewater Infrastructure Feasibility Study for South Jamesport. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes, I think this is for South Jamesport and west along Peconic Bay Boulevard.
Yeah.
Am I correct?
Yes, it is.
It just says South Jamesport, but it's all the way along the Peconic River.
Correct.
I vote yes.
Walter.
Yeah, yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 562.
Go ahead,
I
Jim.
guess
It's all yours.
Says council person, so I guess
Oh.
awards bid for snack vendors. So moved.
And seconded?
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 563.
Pays bills. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Giglio.
Yes.
Gabrielson.
Yes.
Wooten.
Just checking. Yes.
Dunleavy.
Make sure his bill is in there. Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted.
All right, now we open the public comment portion up to the public for anything that they wish to speak about. We ask you to keep your comments to 5 minutes. Ms. DeVito.
Yes, Angela DeVito. In listening this evening to Gail Baldwin talking about August 1st being World Lung Cancer Day, and the fact that they're looking to have the Dennison building light up, we don't have a structure that's as tall in Riverhead, but I'd like to suggest that if we could work with George through the Recreation Committee and perhaps some of our Boy Scout, Girl Scout troops, other organizations here in town, and have the entire riverfront lit up on the evening of August 1st with just candle lights, the entire length going in and around Grangeville Park, in terms of our participation and support of this initiative. That's something you'd like to consider. We have 10 days
Hey.
You've
to
done-
put it together.
I was gonna say,
People
you-
do it in less time.
That's right.
I just think, I don't know. George, do you think that's possible?
Yeah, well, I'll make some calls. See
Yeah,
if we
to
can move
see
it.
what, because I just think it's, to bring people down. Having spent 25 years of my life as a public health practitioner, I worked primarily with people with lung diseases, not specifically just always lung cancer. And I know that it is something that when she spoke to the number of deaths and it being a significant cause of death as well as new disease in this country, I just think that we can do our small piece here and light up for World Lung Cancer Day here in Riverhead.
No pun
And
intended.
I'll be willing to do
Yeah, I'll reach
any,
out.
yes. Thank you. Do you want to sing on that? No, I'll be, anything I can do to help you out, or my civic can do to help you out, we'd be very happy to do it.
Okay, good.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Angela. Ms. Lysandro.
This is short, I'm too short for this.
Hello down there.
I'm Connie Lysandro, and I'm actually here tonight on behalf of the Riverheads Anti-Bias Task Force. On March 19th of this year, 2015, the resolution number 167 to reestablish the Riverhead Anti-Bias Task Force, and it was unanimously adopted, and you all gave your full support to the mission and the goals that we sat down and spoke about. We like to think of ourselves as ambassadors for the town. We're proud of Riverhead, and we know it's a caring community, and we want to keep it that way. And just a short part of our mission statement is, in consideration of the destructive efforts of prejudice and racism in our communities, and in order to address this ongoing problem, the Riverhead Anti-Bias Task Force has been created. The task force is a nonpartisan group comprised of concerned citizens, government officials, representatives of law enforcement, education, and clergy, all of whom work together to address the issue of prejudice. It's very difficult, but it can be done. So that being said, I refer to an article that appeared in the Riverhead Local on July 17th of this year. Is Riverhead a sanctuary city? There were some remarks that we, as a task force, felt were inappropriate and contrary to the mission of the Anti-Bias Task Force, and we, as members of the task force, expect that our town officials not undermine the work that we're doing in trying to bring the community together without prejudice and continue to keep hate and racism and prejudice out of our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lissandro. Next speaker. How you doing, sir? If you could just state your name and hamlet for the record.
Okay, my name is John Peck, and I live at 14 Campground Circle in Jamesport. Wesley Avenue has been on the list of private roads to be plowed for quite some time now, and I personally don't believe it's a private road, and I don't think it ever has been. If you go next door to the assessor's office and you ask them for the Suffolk County tax map number for Wesley Avenue, they don't have one.
Yeah, where is it?
You can turn to the page where the tax map number would be, like where my home is that borders on Wesley Avenue, and you see my tax map number, all my neighbors, but none for Wesley Avenue. And
What's
Wesley
the cross street on
Well,
that?
I don't even know where Wesley Avenue is.
Pardon me?
Where is Wesley Avenue?
Wesley Avenue starts at 6th Street.
Sixth, okay.
Right at the corner of 6th Street, goes north
This one.
all the way to South Railroad Avenue.
Oh, really?
About 200 feet of it is plowable, and the rest of it all the way to the railroad, you couldn't plow anyhow, it's all forest.
Huh.
But the 200 feet of it that's not being plowed is also got no maintenance, and it's got some pretty good sized potholes. The people in the neighborhood who have raked their leaves to the end of their property at Wesley Avenue, the trucks come by, they won't pick their leaves up because they claim it's a private road, but it's not a private road. So I'm here to try and get you guys to look at that and get it off that list.
We'll do some research. Bob, can you have Laura look at Wesley Avenue? We can look in the, because I don't ever remember this one coming up, Diane. We can look in your book of roads.
Sure.
Maybe Diane has the book of roads, and there's a lot of roads in there that I was even surprised are town roads. So we'll look at it. If you could give your...
Was it ever known by any other name?
Pardon me?
Was it ever known by any other name besides
No,
Wesley?
no, it never was. It goes way back to the old.
To the original
1800
original
campground, the
campground
Methodist.
filing?
Pardon me?
It went back to the original map when the campgrounds were filed?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
It's always called Wesley Avenue.
Is it,
Never
is
changed.
it, is it a paved road?
A who?
A paved?
No, it's dirt.
It's a dirt road that goes into the campgrounds, right?
Right, exactly.
Approaches from the north, I know which road
Borders
it is.
Exactly, and
It's kind of a narrow side too.
everybody's deed addresses it always as Wesley Avenue.
We'll take a look at it. We
All right.
haven't taken, I don't think we
I
were
know it's
taking.
easy to get things on lists. It may be a little bit tricky to get it off the list, but at least then things will get done, because it needs some work right now.
Yeah, I don't know whether he's gonna take, the highway superintendent's gonna take dirt roads, but Larry, if you could take this gentleman's name and phone number, you're wearing the same color shirt right there, Mr. Levy's right there. If you could give him your information.
Sure.
And we'll give that to the town attorney, and Laura Calamita will do some research in the town attorney's office and get back to you.
Can I ask you a question? Are there
Sure.
many residents there in the winter?
Are there any, I'm there in the winter.
You're in the winter, but most of the campgrounds are,
Kimmel is there in the winter, Stromberg's there in the winter. There's maybe
Okay.
5 of us,
okay.
5 or 6 of us.
All right, if you could just see that gentleman, we'll get the information, we'll do some research, see
Okay,
what we
thanks.
find.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
How you doing? Can you
Hi,
state
good
your name and
evening.
hamlet for the record?
Hi, my name is Stephanie Rangeli. I am a recent resident of Riverhead District. My husband and I decided to move our family out here about 22 months ago. As a wife to an educator, a master of special education, and a business entrepreneur, I have a lot of respect for the things that you offer here in Riverhead, especially to our young children.
Welcome to Riverhead. Where are you from?
Thank you. I'm actually born and raised in the unincorporated village of Malvern. I lived in Long Beach. I lived in Manhattan. So I've floated around,
I was
but
going to say, this is like culture shock then.
it actually isn't. It's everything in life is cyclical. So my father, as a council representative for Boy Scouts, used to come out here with the Boy Scouts. So I actually frequent out here very often with him, and I also showed competitively with horses. I was president of Future Farmers of America with Malvern High School. So agriculture was always something that was on the up and up, and preservation of our community and has always been something at the foremost, and so is the education of my children. As an educator who promotes development stages of all children, I really am here to be an advocate not only for the community of our children, but the health and wellness of our seniors, to be an advocate for a playground on the North Fork. I think the North Fork has so much to offer Riverhead. I would love, with all of the things that we do in our community, all too often Riverhead gets the bad news. I'd like to be an active participant in trying to establish something on the North Fork to promote agricultural activities. There's so much on the North. You never hear anything about the 4-H camp. All of the farms and all of the things that are offered on the North Fork. Our family communities are growing, and as a real estate agent I'm with Kerrigan Country Realty in West Hampton, I would love nothing more to promote Riverhead and the beautiful homes that we offer here. People come here to join the activities that we have. The swimming, the sports. Look at Skoski Park, the ball field. But Riverhead on the North Fork, if we put something over there to promote the 4-H camp, the small businesses, the agricultural settings, the farm stands, people who traveled here can stop and picnic and enjoy the scenery, and our children get to socialize. All the playgrounds that are offered in Riverhead promote age developmental stages from 5 and up. Studies show that development for social, cognitive, physical abilities start from birth through. Nothing promotes that. And as an advocate for children, especially with developmental disabilities, I think it's a huge asset if we try to begin a program with that. And
is there an opening on your committee?
We might put you on our rec committee. You get your contact information, maybe we can give it to
Larry.
Larry can get you a contact, and I'll get back to you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your...
Do you have an opening on that committee?
That's it.
I was going to say we might get you really involved in this.
That's okay.
More than you bargaining for here.
Okay, how you doing?
Good evening. Anita Pellegrino, 71 Tyler Drive. I want to personally thank Mr. Dunleavy for arranging a meeting with Brian Slaga, chair of the Vineyards Club, and members of the Old Vine Estates Civic Association, Val Stipe, Marilyn Pranzo, and myself on Friday, June 10th, 2015. Brian laid out the club's proposed architectural plan to help with the drainage issue. We are hopeful that the plans will move forward in a timely fashion. We've waited almost 10 years through 6 major floods. Time is of the essence. Unfortunately, there are other ongoing issues with the developer George Heinlein of NF Development, Paragon Industries, and Pegasus Capital in our community. The condition of lot number 70, next door to 27 Tyler Drive, by Mrs. Marilyn Malone, who's in back of me. Foundation was laid in November 2014, almost 8 months ago. Number one, this poses a potential hazard. A person could fall into this open space and get seriously injured. Okay, so this foundation has been open for 8 months. Number two, the foundation was open to the frigid weather for an extended period, killing all of the Malone plantings bordering the property on 27 Tyler Drive. third item, there is a pile of dirt at the rear of lot number 70, overgrown with weeds. This is extremely unsightly and very upsetting to the Malone family. There are also several more large piles overgrown with weeds across the street bordering the Lulensky home. 4, there is a dumpster and trash on lot number 70. This condition has existed since early June 2015 and has not been removed.
We're going to do a chapter 96 on this.
We're going to be here forever, okay, and we're going to come to every meeting until we get this condition cleared up.
Bob,
All right,
hold on one second, because before I lose my train of thought, the overgrown weeds, the litter, the clutter, let's get code enforcement to do a chapter 96 to get them to clean it up. The problem with the open foundation is we could force them to do something, but that something might be more unsightly than you want, which is fence the open foundation. If you want us to go that far, we would have to do a 54, I think.
We'd like the foundation removed.
Because
I don't think anything is ever going to get built there.
That's not something we would be able to probably do, because we'd have to show structurally unsound or something like that. It's a concrete we'll do the chapter 96 to clean up the wood, to clean up the rubbish, to clean up the
remove the pile.
We could probably do it to remove the pile. We'll do that. Just send code enforcement.
There's several throughout the community,
and we can do that. But we'd be hard pressed to get them to remove the foundation. I'm going to say that's not going to happen. We have to do a chapter 54 to fence it, and I'm going to say that's going to be uglier. But if that's something you want, the next speaker could speak, and we'll go from there. But the 96 may get their attention.
Okay, and our big question is, this lot was also the location of the easement for the drainage pipes, and our huge question is, why was a permit to build granted for this property? Okay, now I'm going to review all of the issues that I brought up at the last meeting regarding the rental properties owned by this developer. Number 30, Tyler Drive. There are multiple unrelated residents with commercial vehicles. This is a violation of the Oldvine Estates covenants that are filed in Suffolk County. Unfortunately, there's no teeth to this, but I'm just informing you of it. There is siding falling off the house, and there's a broken window. We have pictures of this. Okay, and 22 Tyler Drive, owned by Paragon Industries. Oh, by the way, that previous house was owned by Pegasus Capital. All the same developer. He's got 3 different names. He must have multiple reasons for all these names. There are also multiple unrelated residents, more than 2 unrelated adults. Tons of cars, tons of commercial vehicles around. All right, number 10, Tyler Drive, NF Development. A commercial vehicle has been parked on this driveway for almost a year. Okay, number 43, Tyler Drive, NF Development, fascia and trim in terrible disrepair.
These are things that your condo association...
We don't have a condo association. We have
planned
nothing.
Unit development.
Okay, we are basically formed the Civic Association about 5 years ago so that we would have a conduit to speak with this gentleman.
Right.
Okay, and he has lied to us consistently. All right, he told us over 3 years ago that by this time he would be out of the community. He's obviously not out of the community. We would love to see him gone.
We'll work on it. We'll work on the things, but there are things.
I know.
Trust me, there are things that if they're in your covenants, I don't think the town board has the authority to enforce.
The covenants are basically, they run with the land. I'm sure you're aware of that. But we've read them, and we don't know how we can enforce it. I don't even know.
I'm going to say you'd have to hire an attorney, and I don't think that
I don't think we're going to be willing to do that. Yeah, okay, we just have to constantly get on him.
We're going to keep the pressure up on him.
All right. Let me just tell you something that occurred after the meeting regarding mowing the undeveloped lots. Okay, you know that over the past 8-9 years, almost a decade, the community has had to beg him to mow all right, and to cut the weeds. Sometimes they're 3 and 4 feet high. At the July 7th meeting, we were advised to notify the town rather than beg. The following day, Chris Keegan was in the community, and I stopped and spoke with him, and I told him what we were advised, and I asked very nicely that maintenance of the lots be placed on a schedule so that we would not be forced to file a complaint. He laughed and said that the developer would never do that.
Bob, hold on a second. What's the status of the last time we talked to code enforcement? I wanted you to do the 96 on the unmowed lots.
They've been out. I don't know if they've all been posted.
Okay.
I was
We're working on it.
Well, they're ready to be mowed again.
Okay.
Well, this is.
I was led to believe they had been cut. Not? They weren't cut at all?
They were cut once.
Okay.
They were cut once. They will be ready to.
Out,
They will be
that
ready
they
to
were
be
done.
cut in another week or so.
They're very hardy, they grow quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not going to, under the Chapter 96, we're not having a well manicured set
No,
of
no,
weeds,
we're not
but
asking for that. We're not.
Don't
We're
tell
just.
them next time. Let us just post it in.
Okay. All right. We have owned a home in Old Vine Estates for almost 9 years, and these conditions have persisted for that time period. We're asking the town council to, 1, insist upon a timely schedule for completion of a home site. We assume that permits give a time limit. 2, insist upon a timely resolution of the open foundation, which we just discussed. 3, hold the developer responsible for appropriately maintaining his rental properties. 4, hold the developer responsible for maintaining mowed undeveloped lots in keeping with Town Ordinance Chapter 96. And number 5, follow up with the street light situation that was brought to your attention at the July 7th meeting. I understand that that has been taken care of. We've lived with these conditions for 9 years. We feel that this is an unreasonable amount of time for a developer to spend in a community with no actual plan for future building, improvement, whatever, devaluing our properties and forcing us to live in aesthetically unpleasing surroundings. I've never lived in a community like this, ever.
I'll second that.
We paid large sums of money, huge sums of money for our homes, and have been at the mercy of this developer for too long. Owners of Old Vine Estates properties plan to attend as many future town council meetings as possible to keep our message alive and to press for more intense oversight of this developer's activities in our community. Thank you for hearing me.
Thank you. In the future, and you're obviously welcome to come, and we never enforce the 5-minute rule, but it's good for you to check in with the town attorney as to the status of different things, because there's probably things that are happening that unless he goes back to his employees, he's not going to know. So, the day before the meeting, check with the town attorney, see what's happening.
I wasn't aware that I could do that.
Oh, yeah, of course, absolutely.
Okay,
What's
thank
your
you very much. I
216?
appreciate it.
Extension 216.
Good evening.
Hi.
My name is
Sorry, Bob.
Marilyn Malone, and unfortunately, I live next to the dump that you're looking at. The only person so far that has been able to, or has tried to help me, is Jody Giglio. You remember we had that brief meeting, and you told me that Chris Keegan was going to ring my doorbell. Well, it's 6 weeks later.
I know.
He hasn't arrived.
I know.
He's never going to arrive.
You're right.
Can't take it anymore. Would you live next to that garbage?
The town engineer did go out, and the town engineer informed him that he would have to replace all those plantings that were destroyed when he built that foundation. And he's been into a few planning board meetings, and we keep telling him, but I think that more action has to take place and go to
But you know what? The plants at this point have become minor compared to the garbage. I mean, we have moles coming out of our lawns, and it's because of what they've done.
Please. If you want to speak, you can come to the microphone. Let me
I
ask
don't
you.
know how he can get away with this.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Can I just ask the town attorney, do we keep foundation permits on these condos?
They're homes.
They come in for a building.
It's
they
a
come in
planned
for-
unit development.
And they come in for a building permit as they would any single-family residence.
It's a full building permit that he
It's a
has.
full building permit, I presume is what it's called. I haven't
Yeah.
pulled the
I
building.
don't know what
permit,
else
but-
we can do.
He does.
Okay.
But I think that we can look at a code revision that says that if you have an open foundation, it can't exist for more than a year and the town can go in and remove it.
He won't do anything. I promise you, he won't. He does nothing.
Well, hold
but
on a second.
collect garbage.
Hold on a second.
Okay.
If there's a way to go after him for the open foundation permit, then let's do it.
It's a full building permit.
I think you have to start working within 4 months, and if you do, then you're vested in the building permit. I'll have to look at the code.
All right, we'll look at the code. If we can write him tickets for
But
the
if-
open foundation,
and
we
then,
will.
And then, as you point out, the question is whether it's unsafe structure under chapter 54.
Because it's open.
Right.
It's attractive nuisance.
Right, and we've done that.
We can, we're,
Thank you for your help.
let's,
Thank you for
you know what,
trying.
let's shake the
But
trees
I
a little
really
bit. Let's see
think
if we can
This
throw a 54
man wouldn't
at
put
him.
his foot in this property. He's so afraid of the people that live there.
We're gonna try to shake
My
it.
car will back out of that driveway.
You run him over.
Go right over.
Don't kid like that, Marilyn.
All right. Thank you. We're gonna try to, we'll try pushing a little harder. We'll push as hard as we can.
Well, I was trying to push the streetlights.
Well, we'll get
That
the
was my main
streetlights, but
focus.
if we can do, we'll do the 96 if they're not cut, and if we have grounds for the 54 of pulling the building permit, we'll do that as well.
Thank you.
We have, this man has a long history of
Oh, I know.
problems, not just in your community.
Oh, I know that too. Didn't know it before I purchased.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Biggest mistake of my life.
Okay. Ms. Smith.
Hi, Laura Jen Smith from Laurel. I'm just here to respectfully ask that the board review the DC1 zoning for downtown Riverhead in light of the Brownfield study and its recommendations, which calls into question the zoning that's currently downtown, where you're allowed to have the 5-story box buildings built and a maximum of 500 apartments, I believe is what it is, and the study calls to please reduce that to 320 for the build out of downtown, and also to taper the buildings to be more in the character of the town as they go up. So I think it calls for second and third floor full build out, and then I guess the fourth and fifth floor, the top 2 floors to build out 40 and then 25% instead of a full build out all the way up, so that it really goes more with the character of the town. So I ask that you just review the zoning that is currently there, especially in light of a lot of things that will be coming through, that the planning board will be charged with using the current zoning that is there, that is not really what's being recommended by the study that we just spent $500,000 on.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Next.
The state spent
Listen, Petrock has like 700 rentals.
Good evening. My name is Marjorie Acevedo. I'm from Wading River. I'm here regarding resolution number 553 that you voted on tonight. This board always seems to do things piecemeal. The Ethics Board should have been involved in the process of resolution 553 as soon as it was introduced in the last 6 weeks, within the last 6 weeks. What is the rush? We could have tabled this until it was vetted by the Ethics Board, as it should have been and could have been, instead of the town board members just supporting this resolution. Some town board members have stated before they voted that they wished this would have gone further. Well, what should have happened was they should have said, I make a motion to table this so that we can go one step further with the resolution. And it wasn't done. 3 of you stated that. 3 of you should have done that. As usual, this is the wrong vote for the wrong reasons. I urge you to support a motion to rescind this resolution and table it, work with the Ethics Board to incorporate what other board members have suggested here tonight. I believe this is the correct thing to do.
Thank you. Does anybody else wish to be heard tonight?
Just some final thoughts on the presentation of our residents of Old Vine, when you talk about all the grasses that are involved in growing, is that you may want to seek some ammunition from the Peconic Bay Medical Center, because those sorts of grasses that grow are fertile grounds for the ticks that carry Lyme disease and the little animals in that. So it may be something that, not necessarily in terms of it being nuisance grasses, as our code may address, or unsightliness, but it's a public health issue, and that he's helping to promote in the area there. So you may, I don't know if you've done that, but it's just a thought that I had, having been part of the Lyme Disease Institute many years ago. So it's.
And
I know.
Angela is the past president of the South Jamesport Civic, so if you guys
I'm
are really
current.
a civic, you should get to know Angela.
Current.
Current, okay, current. All right, nobody else wishes to be heard? Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion, we close the town board meeting.
All in favor? Second, all in favor? Opposed, abstentions, motion carries. Thank you, everyone.
All right, listen, everyone, you want this rather than five. Let's just, let's condemn the whole side, so I knock it all the way flat, so we have a whole.
It'll stay like that forever.
I don't want it.